So, like, it's not even close. It's not even close. When we look at total gaming, mobile gaming, then gacha gaming, as we have broken it down throughout the last 50 minutes, it's really not even close. It's Genshin and then details, right? Interesting to me is that Honkai only made $6 million last month, which includes their global, Southeast Asian, and Korean servers. So it had a lot of downloads, 533,000 downloads, but it's not really making a lot of money off of that. I don't know that they really care too much because Genshin is doing so well. They can continue to pump Honkai until the next 2 games come out or even afterwards, and honestly just be okay. The juggernaut that Genshin Impact is, to be honest with you, it's not, I don't know how to say this. It is somehow perpetually understated. It's perpetually understated just how massive Genshin Impact is in its market, which is mobile gacha games. You could even say gacha games writ large, but for mobile gacha games, it's not close. It's really not. And it's not really, I would say, applicable to say, well, that's because Genshin runs and looks so well on PC. It runs nicely there, so more people are playing it there. I think that is attributable for the download numbers. Honkai also looks and runs very nicely on PC. I can't speak to any of the others, but there's really no reason to play an Arknights, an FGO, or a Blue Archive on PC only. Same with Azure Lane. There's just no reason to do that. You're not going to see a significant change. With Honkai, with Genshin, you do see a massive, in my opinion at least, benefit to the gameplay experience. I don't think that's really controversial, but I would love to hear feedback on that otherwise. So, what does this tell us about the potential future? What does this tell us about where FGO might look to develop, and other games as well? Where might they look to develop? I think it's probably safe to say that the future of gacha gaming is not simply going to be mobile only. And if it is, it better have a strong IP attached to it, a la Fate Grand Order, right? The Fate title is more than enough to give a significant boost in interest for a new game. That being said, if I'm a game developer, and I'm not, and I'm smart, and I'm not, then I'm looking at all of this, and I'm saying to myself, all right, gaming revenue as a whole is up. It's trending up. It hasn't slowed down. As a whole, console is still doing at least decently well. It's holding strong. We haven't seen the projected fall off that so many have, let's say, theorized over the years. Is it going to happen? Probably. Has it happened? No, it has not yet happened. So that being said, emerging markets matter. Console still matters. PC will always matter going forward, and so will mobile gaming, right? Not only that, but gacha games continue to make a lot of money. They're still very profitable, leading the way. Genshin with that 33 million, but Uma Musume made $43 million last month. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And so when it comes to the future of like a game being developed, whether it's for FGO or something else, I don't think it's any doubt to say that there's a strong possibility, a very strong possibility. We could start to see a lot of these other titles influence future game development. Now, is it going to be on the scope of a Genshin? Perhaps not. I mean, that's a large undertaking. And it's no secret that MiHoYo and now HoYoverse already had some experience with that, and they already reused some assets as well from Honkai Impact. Not a lot, but some, right? You see that in a lot of the weapons. However, it's going to be a much more difficult time for FGO, whoever it's developed by, specifically Aniplex, to be able to carry over that kind of success from one title to another. They do not appear to want to overlap in the way that Honkai and Genshin are overlapped, despite having potentially, at least like loosely connected, theoretically speaking, universes. This is evident in Raiden Mei and Yae Miko / Yae Sakura on Honkai. there's a potential for them to be connected, if nothing else than from a business perspective. They have reused familiar faces that were popular on their prior title, Honkai. So FGO is kind of in like this like really advantageous position when it comes to its future from a developmental perspective, because it can completely shed its current, we could call it a reputation, or we could just call it an outright description, as an outdated client and UI. As we talked about last episode, there's no doubt that the developers, Nasu, all parties involved, Type Moon, Aniplex, they all knew that the UI and the client, the engine, all of it was outdated almost immediately. All of it was outdated almost immediately. The animations were so widely decried by Type Moon and Aniplex employees, as we talked about last time, that they immediately had to patch some of the things. They immediately had to change some of the things. That's really telling to me. But it also means that as far as a glow up is concerned, man, Fate can make a splash. They can make a splash. They can really sweep the market off its feet in the next few years with a new game by saying, hey, this is Fate Grand Order, right? This is what it's looked like. This is how you've played it. These are the characters that you love. Now look at this. Do I think that it's necessarily guaranteed to happen? I don't. However, for better or for worse, Arcade, FGO Arcade, is at least promising for that aspect alone. That there is this willingness to try new platforms, this willingness to try new play styles, while still holding on to the gacha aspect. Do I think that it's going to be successful if it's as predatory on the gacha and expensive to play as FGO Arcade? God, no chance at all. However, if you take that aside and simply look at the conceptual standpoint of, well, hey, they put this on Arcade, it looks different, it plays different, it's 3D, there are much more, let's say, intimate bond scenes and conversations with the player and their characters. I think it's extremely promising as a player who looks forward to what a potential future FGO or future Fate game might look like. I think it's extremely promising to say, hey, a lot of our favorite characters, or at least inspirations from them, are probably going to make it into a new title. They're probably going to look a lot better, and the playstyle could be radically different. Hopefully not Arcade. Arcade is not necessarily bad, but it's not something that's going to crack top 10 in revenue, month over month, as FGO has for gacha gaming, at least by my estimations. But I think it's promising to say, you know what, the people who own the rights to this franchise are willing to look at other